It's not that I'm more gifted than anybody else. It's this desire.
Lance, right? You won all those races in America, but you don't win here.
Dr. Ferrari?
I want to be like one of your guys. I want to be on whatever program they're on. You just tell me what to do, I'll do it.
This is science, no longer confined to Earth. Now we had learned to fly.
I like it a lot because it's so true to the story. As a journalist, I'm looking, is this a fair representation of the story that I spent a lot of time working on? And it is. It's a very, you know, and I don't, it's not like David Walsh brought down Lance Armstrong. The film does not say that. It says that I was a journalist who didn't believe in him, and I did my best.
How many times do I have to say it? I've never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs.
Anybody who was going to say, this might not be true, folks, I actually think it's not true. That person was raining on one of the sunniest parades that sport had ever seen.
I have my interview with Armstrong today.
I just love to ride my bike.
Not lacking in confidence. He's recovered from cancer and turned into bloody Superman. You think that's natural?
Why are you so obsessed with this?
Why are you not obsessed with this?
I wondered about Chris, you know, when I first heard, because, I mean, I loved him in Bridesmaids. How can you not like that guy, Officer Rhodes? You know, and you know, I loved about Chris, because he didn't really put on an American accent. He's like this American cop with an Irish accent. And you don't know how the woman doesn't fall for him immediately because he's so lovable. And of course, eventually she does. And I thought, yeah, that was brilliant, Chris. But could you be like a hard-edged journalist? Could you be nasty to other journalists? And then I remember seeing a scene in the film where the 99 tour has happened and Lance has won the stage to Sestriere. He's announced his brilliance as a mountain climber, even though we knew he was a hopeless mountain climber for a long time before this. And suddenly he's transformed, and Chris O'Dowd is sitting at the table, and he's saying to the other three journalists that are traveling in the car with him, did you see what he did today on the mountains? Do you believe that? Do you think that's authentic?
Did you ever visit Ferrari? Can I get a yes or a no on that?
Extraordinary allegations must be met with extraordinary proof.
And they're saying, well, yeah, you know. And one of the journalists, John Wilcoxon, says, you know, why are you obsessed about this? And Chris O'Dowd looks at him and says, why are you not obsessed about it? You're meant to be journalists, asking questions. And the journalists say, hey, steady on, that's a bit over the top. And that's exactly how I was.
Lance Armstrong, handsome, young, inspirer of millions, cannot possibly be a cheat. He's clearly doping and nobody else can see it.
I've never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs.
Lance.
If Ben Foster was playing an alcoholic, and he was a guy who'd never drunk very much in his life, and he said, I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol to see its effects on me. I'm going to do it under medical supervision, as he did with the performance-enhancing drugs. Would I think that was a silly thing to do? No, I wouldn't. I would think that was an intelligent thing to do. And I don't know if it helped him that much to take. He says it did. I've met Ben, and I mean, I think he does an outstanding job as Lance.
I am the most tested athlete on the face of the planet. I have never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs.
It's a kind of a mesmerizing performance. And I think in many ways he's born to play. He's quite intense. There's an element of Lance about him, you know. And I kind of think that Ben almost has a sneaking regard for Lance, you know, which makes his portrayal of Lance very interesting. I certainly don't think he's got a uniformly low opinion of Lance. That's not my impression.
See David Walsh.
I used to believe in this sport, and Armstrong is killing it.
People say, would you like to sit down with him? Yes, I would, provided Lance was coming to that chair saying, I'll tell you all the truths now. Once he told the first lie, he kind of became a prisoner of his own lie. And I think I'd have more sympathy for Lance than I have if he would untell all the lies he told, not just some of them.
I'm Lance Armstrong, and I will not be brought down.